When the brothers of Yosef come to town, so of course Pharaoh's excited. He took over the world with one Yosef. Now he's told he's got Yosef's brothers, and they're bigger and stronger than Yosef. But Yosef, understanding that, brings the weakest of the brothers, and he explains to them what to say to Pharaoh. And he tells them to explain that we're shepherds, and that's what we do for generations, and that's our expertise. Now let me try to give you a little bit of an analogy, a little bit of a joke as well, how I interpret this whole dialogue between the brothers and Pharaoh. Imagine in America, you bring to the biggest corporate leader, Donald Trump or whoever, you bring him your brothers, because you're of course $1 million man, you make him millions, and you bring him your brothers, which are supposed to also make him millions. And as soon as they start talking, he asks the brothers, so what do you do? Let me figure out how I can use you to become even more rich and more powerful. And the brothers answer, well, we're garbage men. We are garbage experts. So what's going to happen? Obviously, the face on this businessman is going to, smile is going to turn to a frown. Because he was imagining how he can make dollars off of these people. And in the end, they're talking about garbage. That's, to some degree, how we could appreciate the dialogue between the brothers of Yosef and Pharaoh. What exactly happened then was Pharaoh was expecting to see all of these great talents and how he can use them to control the world. And they tell him that they're shepherds. Now, in that time and place, in this modern, civilized Egyptian society, being a shepherd was like being a garbage person. That was what being a shepherd was like. And so when they told him that we're shepherds, our father was shepherds and our grandfather was shepherds, and that's what's in our blood, being a shepherd, they were essentially telling them that you have no use for us. And by being told that you have no use for us, so of course when Joseph comes with the solution, let's send them off into a far off place, Goshen, like the suburb. Let's put them there. Let's get them out of the way, and they won't be an embarrassment to Pharaoh. So Pharaoh's like, great, Yosef, you're a genius. You saved me. And in doing so, Yosef understood, of course, what was happening, and he saved the Jewish people. Because in order for the Jewish people to survive, which is, we have to maintain a level of purity and sanctity and wholesomeness. And if we're in the heart of Manhattan, 48th and Broadway, I think that's pretty action-packed over there. If that's where you're trying to raise your daughter to be a modest woman, and that's where you're trying to raise your son to be devoted to serving Hashem, that's not the place. The added benefit, which was really what saves the day, is that the divine presence could come and stay with them there. Had they been in Egypt proper, so in all that impurity, who says that they would have been able to connect with Hashem in the same way? And as a matter of fact, we find later on that Moshe Rabbeinu himself had to leave Egypt in order to pray to Hashem, because Egypt was full of all of these bad things. So with this and everything we're saying now, we can appreciate that how does Yaakov live out his golden years, so to speak, in Egypt without being so worried, is because everything was set in place for success. He had the Beis Medrash, he had Jewish leadership, and we had isolation from the influences and the unfortunate negative things that our children would be exposed to. When we have a history lesson in understanding how the Jews survived in Egypt, it's really a lesson for us here and now, because how do we survive in this time of exile with all of the exposure we have? Today in our living room, you can have anything you want. You turn on the computer, click a few buttons, and the whole world is there. The greatest test we've ever faced, we perhaps face today. How do we survive? Well, we survive with these same messages. A devotion to traditional values. The Beis Medrash has to be the main thing, Torah and the guidance of our rabbis.